Right now, though, we're actually going to book him as a guest Monday, but I can't stand to wait. It's Benjamin, the libertarian, calling from Wheatland. He's actually a voluntarist. Anyway, Ben, let's not get hung up on that. So you are now a convicted criminal, sir?
That would be correct.
All right, so you and your brother put up the sign over freeway saying taxes equals theft.
Yeah.
And the coppers came up and said, you got to take that down. And you want to give a brief recitation. What can you say? Because I know you were convicted of, what was the charge?
Well, okay, so I'll just give a brief thing and tell you what I was charged with.
Okay.
We're up there, we have a sign, we go around, we have signs and protest stuff. We went up on an overpass because we thought that would be effective. The cops show up, say, you got to take down the sign. We say, oh, is it against the law to have the sign? They say, we don't know, and we don't really have a problem with it. But
I see signs on overpasses all the time saying, go Aggies or that sort of thing with college kids up there.
Right, because it's not against the law.
Okay.
All right.
So then they take issue with the fact that we're wearing masks. They just keep trying to come up with reasons why we then have to give them an ID.
And then I've seen your video. I've recommended people watch it over and over again. It's linked at ArmstrongandGettyRadio.com. When they say, well, listen, wearing a mask to conceal your identity with a law enforcement officer that's no good. So you say, oh, okay, we'll take them off then.
Right. Well, at first they say, oh, I've never heard of a law like that. I mean, there's Halloween. People wear masks all the time.
Right.
And, in fact, that isn't the law. It's not against the law to wear a mask, but the officer comes over and recites a law that mentions masks, essentially, and it is illegal to wear a mask, like going and robbing the Quickie Mart.
Right.
The intent for your face not to be seen by the video camera. So we say, look, we're not criminals. We're not hiding our faces, and we take off our masks to show them our faces. But we eventually get charged with resisting/obstructing charge. It's Penal Code 148. And it has to do with the fact that we delayed the officers in their investigation. Because when the officers asked us, and this is his exact quote, do you have your IDs on you by chance? We said, no, not on us.
Okay.
That's it.
And did you have IDs on you?
No.
And it's
not, you don't have to have an ID.
Right. California is not a stop and ID state. There is no law that says you have to have ID on you. The jury decided yesterday, and this is, I didn't talk to any of them, but, their quotes are in our local paper, that essentially if a cop asks you questions, regardless of whether it's legal or not, regardless of what the current law is, you need to tell them what they want to know.
Wow, jury leaning toward, well, the cops wouldn't be asking you if you weren't doing something wrong.
Right.
So you're convicted of resisting/delaying an officer or something like that in their investigation.
It's the same penal code for resisting arrest, but they charged us with a delaying portion of it.
I understand people that don't think this is a big deal, but it's just this whole mood we've got toward, I'm not doing anything wrong, so here's more freedom I'm giving away.
Yeah, I'll submit to authority however it's wielded or however badly.
I'm not committing a crime, so sure, that it doesn't matter if another step is taken toward you can do what you want when you want, as the police or the man.
Yeah. So you've been convicted by a jury of your peers beyond a reasonable doubt for delaying a police officer. Good Lord. What's next?
Well, in 2 weeks, we go back into court because we asked them to wait to give us sentencing so we can arrange our lives, make sure work knows, hey, we might not be able to come into work. So sentencing in 2 weeks, we face a maximum penalty of a year in jail and a $1,000 fine.
What's your lawyer suggesting you should look forward to? Any idea?
It's really hard to tell. We were offered many plea deals that were about as good as you can get, as long as we would just admit that we delayed the officer and pay court fees and all that kind of stuff. For better or worse, my brother and I happen to be quite principled, and we're not going to say we did something wrong or illegal or anything like that when we, in fact, did not. So,
well, you've got to, I tell you what, you're thinking, well, this is interesting. I wonder if it's the way Ben's saying it is, et cetera. You got to go to ArmstrongandGettyRadio.com, follow the link that's under links, right, Vince? Yeah, and watch the videotape. Well, I tell you what, this whole thing, especially if you watch the videotape, it's incredibly frustrating because it's simply cops who don't have the patience for somebody who actually knows their rights and is saying, I understand you want to see my ID, but I don't have to show it to you, and I'd prefer not to, because they're incredibly respectful through the whole thing. And, put me down. If you guys get fined, I'm in for $100, Ben. Well, I don't know if we'll actually start illegal.
We'll raise your fine.
Yeah, well, yeah. Well, God dang it. We or our listeners are all, I don't know if I want to formally ask anybody for anything, but that pisses me off, and I don't want to see you guys hurt for standing up for principle. So we're to whatever extent we can help, we're still on your side, all right?
Thank you very much.
All right, you got it, Ben. Let's stay in touch. Go. I tell you what, cops have a hard job. They spend all day long babysitting morons, sometimes dangerous morons. But when you run into a law-abiding citizen who doesn't want to cooperate with you 100% because they don't have to, that should make you happy as a member of a free society.
Okay, so watch that after you watch the Cyan commercial at ArmstrongandGettyRadio.com.
A little ecstasy, a little agony.
Joe's going to watch it during the commercials. Here's the text on it. OMG. That Cyan commercial is awesome. How did they get that on TV? Check it out. You're listening to the Armstrong and Getty Show.